And firstly, I would like you to give us just a brief explanation about what the research is about and what were the main results that you found.
So the research was done in Ghana, and what we're trying to understand is whether transparency on the way that revenues from natural resources, in our case petroleum revenues, so whether these transparency measures that the Ghanaian government has undertaken in the past few years, whether they've actually worked. At a very basic level, whether people have actually gotten information, and then are they actually doing something with the information? So what we find is that dissatisfaction levels with what is going on are very high, but then are people actually doing something about it? What we found out at another project is they aren't. So what we're trying to address here with a survey experiment is how do we get people to do something with the information that we give them. And what we're doing is we're giving them information which we hope they find interesting, because we're telling them what is being done with the revenues in your own region, rather than telling them just, Ghana as a whole got so much money from the oil industry, and we spend so and so many million on agriculture, etc. It doesn't really mean much to you as an individual, does it? But if we tell you if your region got this and this much money and invested this and this much in the roads, and you look around you and you think, actually, I don't see that anything has been done, maybe that will motivate you to go and ask your local duty bearer, well, what has been done? And then the second treatment, we try to motivate them to do something by giving them two role models who say, this is why it's so important to know what's going on, and this is why you as a citizen should be interested in this, because it's your resources, it's your roads and hospitals, etc.
And the results that you found?
Well, we found, first of all, that giving these information videos in the short term, because we're talking about a survey experiment where it's a one-off, so giving the information usually increased their knowledge. It increased their levels of satisfaction with what is being done. They're still not that happy, but they're a little bit less unhappy than they were before. And they also say that they intend to talk more about the issues, which is a very low-level action, right? But if you don't get people to actually talk about things, you're never going to get any change from below. You're never going to understand whether they're unhappy or not. So that's a very low-level intention to act. And then we're going up, right up to voting differently. We find there is some evidence that they say, yes, I will vote differently. On top of that, the role model, the people who saw the role model video, they very much think that they personally can influence what is being done with these petroleum revenues. So there does seem to be an impact of showing a person who's going on about how important it is, and you can actually do something. It does affect them. And they also said that they would vote differently in order to have an effect. It's all intentions, but we do find some encouraging effects.
Nice. And do you think that that could be any policy implication of your research?
Potentially, yes. I think for really strong policy implications, we would have to do a follow-up, which we are hoping to do. But again, with a survey experiment, you're doing a one-off. You can't really measure hard outcomes. So the question is, have actions followed words in our case? But in the meantime, we do think that there is potential in using role models to motivate people to do something with the information that they're giving and to hold policymakers accountable. And the other policy implication that we think we're getting is that it is important to localize information. So what I was saying before, not just say what the country as a whole is doing, but what it is doing for your area. And that makes it a lot more salient for people.
Perfect. And how do you think further research should approach this topic?
Well, one thing is we need to be a lot clearer how long the impact actually lasts, because again, it's very easy for us to say, yes, of course, I'm going to do something. We might also think that's what the person asking the question wants to hear, so we kind of want to make that person happy. But does it actually last? And that's something that we would like to find out, and I think more research needs to be done on that, particularly also how long the change lasts that role models can bring about. If we do think that they're useful, how useful are they? We don't know.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
I hope to see you later to show the other results of your research.